Hi, I'm Ed Bolen with the National Business Aviation Association, and I'm delighted to be on Capitol Hill today with Congressman Rick Larsen from the 2nd District of Washington, who is the chairman of the Subcommittee on Aviation. Thank you so much for being with us today, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here.
Now, it's a real honor, and I wanted to talk with you a little bit about some legislation you've just introduced. And I think it stems from the fact that the 2nd District of Washington is a hub of aviation activity. You've got something like 160 aviation companies, military presence. What are you hearing from the folks back home about the shortage of aviation and transportation professionals?
Yeah, well, just to think about this in terms of numbers, there's about 30,000 women and men who go to work in my district every day at one company, the Boeing company, where they build mainly the double-aisle airplanes. But there's an additional 1,500 or so aerospace suppliers throughout the entire state of Washington who could be, a three-person shop, or it could be other international companies that are located in the Pacific Northwest, because we are an aerospace manufacturing hub. Between 2021 and 2026, some companies are expecting to need about 6,000 people a year. And the projection is that we're producing about half of that number. So we are in dire need of aerospace workers.
So the legislation, and you introduced this with Congressman Don Young and Congresswoman Angie Craig, it's called the Promoting Service in Transportation Act. Can you tell us a little bit about the act, what it is, and what we hope it will accomplish?
Well, first and foremost, we have to recognize that in aerospace is not the only transportation industry where we're facing worker shortages in the future. We're expecting to need 60 to 100,000 truck drivers in the next 10 years. According to the International Maritime Organization, there's a dire growing shortage of merchant marine captains, ship officers, pilots, marine engineers as well over the next 10 years. So it's not just in aerospace, it's in all transportation. So what we're trying to do through this bill, it's a HR 5118, is to set up a communication function at the Department of Transportation for them to use to talk to the American public about both the need for these workers, but also the great pay that and benefits that these workers have now and will have long in the future. We need to let people know that these jobs are available, and with some training and education, Americans can fill these roles and make a good living and a long-term living as well.
So we want to do all we can to support you on this. We think it's critical to our future. And I guess I wanted to ask you how we can best do that. What can we do to build momentum for this legislation?
Well, first and foremost is to get more sponsors. So this is a bipartisan bill. So for your members who might be seeing this video saying, why doesn't Congress ever get along? We're getting along on this one. This is a bipartisan bill. And I spoke recently to a bipartisan group of Democrats and Republicans, encouraging them to get on this bill. So I think what the general aviation community generally can do to help out is contact representatives, let them know about this bill, let them know this should be an easy lift for folks. This bill ought to be the easy one to get on, and become part of a bipartisan effort to communicate to the public that there are good paying jobs long in the future for American women and men in the transportation industry.
So it's a great bill. We're pleased to support it. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for your leadership.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.